You ever look at a company and just wonder, how do they get it right every single time? Well, the answer usually comes down to this really powerful philosophy that completely changed modern business. Today, we're going to break down exactly what that is, total quality management, or TQM.
And what we're diving into today is all based on a professional briefing from Raqabil Islam, who's a quality management pro. So we're getting a really clear, structured look at how this whole system actually works. So here's the plan. We're going to start by figuring out what quality even means. Then we'll meet the brilliant minds who came up with all these ideas. After that, we'll look at the TQM framework itself. And then finally, we'll see how all of this is put to work in the real world. Sound good? Let's go.
All right, first things first, let's define what true quality is. Because, if you're going to manage quality, you first have to agree on what you're even talking about.
So just for a second, think about it. When you say something has good quality, what are you really saying? It's a word we throw around all the time, right? But in the world of business, the definition is super specific.
And here it is. It's actually surprisingly simple. In the world of TQM, quality is just the fulfillment of requirements. That's it. It's not about making something extra fancy or gold-plated. It's about doing exactly what you said you were going to do, meeting those expectations perfectly.
And you got to realize, those requirements are way more than just a product itself. Did it hit the right price? Does it work like it's supposed to? Was the customer service any good? Did it show up on time and to the right place? See, true quality means you're ticking every single one of these boxes.
Now, these ideas didn't just pop out of nowhere. They were painstakingly developed by a handful of brilliant thinkers. These are the architects of TQM.
First up, you've got Walter Schuhart. This guy developed something called the control chart. It's basically a statistical tool to see if a process is stable and consistent, or if there's some weird variation throwing things off. He literally gave us a way to see quality.
Building on that, Joseph Juran gave us what's known as the Juran Trilogy. He's the one who said, look, managing quality happens in 3 stages. You have to plan for it, you have to control it while you're making it, and you have to constantly improve it. He's the one who gave quality a real management structure.
Then you have Philip Crosby, who came in and pushed for this huge mental shift. He said, stop waiting to inspect for problems at the end. Instead, you should prevent them from ever happening. His goal was audacious. He called it 0 defects. Not close enough, not almost perfect, absolutely perfect.
And Shigeo Shingo took that 0 defects idea and made it super practical with a concept called pokoyoke. It's Japanese for mistake proofing. Basically, you design things so it's physically impossible to mess up. You know how USB-C cable only fits one way? That's pokoyoke right there.
Next up, Taishi Ono. He was the absolute mastermind behind the legendary Toyota production system. His obsession with smooth, continuous flow and getting rid of waste laid the foundation for what we now all call lean manufacturing. He turned these quality ideas into a philosophy that changed the world.
And finally, there's William Smith. He was an engineer at Motorola, and he became known as the father of Six Sigma. He developed this new, really data-heavy methodology to systematically hunt down and eliminate defects. He took Schuhart's statistical ideas and just cranked them up to a whole new level of precision. And don't worry, we'll get back to Six Sigma in a bit.
So, okay, we've got the people and their big ideas, all building on each other. So now let's look at how all of that gets organized into the TQM framework, how you turn a philosophy into an actual functional system.
At the absolute heart of everything is this one powerful idea: continual improvement. In TQM, you're never done. There is always a way to make the product better, the process smoother, or the system stronger. It's a relentless, unending pursuit of perfection.
And this isn't just some feel-good corporate mantra either. This whole philosophy is actually written down and structured in global standards like ISO 9001. That standard is literally the blueprint for how any organization can build its own quality management system.
And that framework gets incredibly specific. I mean, just looking at the operations side of things, ISO 9001 gets into exactly how you should manage suppliers, control production, track everything, handle service after the sale. The whole point is to build this comprehensive, interconnected system where quality is baked in at every single step.
Okay, that brings us to our final section, putting quality to work. How did all these foundational TQM ideas evolve into the powerful strategies that companies are using right now, today? Well, the legacy of all those early pioneers is really alive and well in 2 major dominant methodologies that you have almost definitely heard of: Six Sigma and Lean.
So let's break down the difference, because it's important. Six Sigma is completely obsessed with getting rid of variation. It wants every single thing you produce to be almost identical, which reduces defects. Lean, on the other hand, is obsessed with improving the flow of the process, and it does that by eliminating waste. Now, Six Sigma is unbelievably precise. The goal, the big goal, is to get to a level of quality so high that you only produce 3.4 defects per million opportunities. Just let that sink in. Not per 100, not per 1,000, per million. That's just a staggering standard of excellence.
And lean has its own core concept, muda. It's the Japanese word for waste. And waste is defined as anything that uses up resources but doesn't actually add any value from the customer's point of view. The easiest way to think about it is, if your customer isn't willing to pay for that activity, it's probably waste.
And that really leaves us with one final thought to take with you. Whether it's a process that's creating tiny variations or an activity that adds no real value, TQM teaches us to constantly be looking for those little imperfections. So the real question is, where's the hidden waste, the muda, in your daily work?